Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, talking all things professional wrestling here on the GSMC Sports Network. So, hope you guys had an amazing week. It is Friday, as I like to call it. We made it. It's time for the weekend. Those who work Monday through Friday, congratulations. Time to put up your feet, relax, hang out with the kids, and just chill. If a lot of people don't just, have the weekends off. It's kind of sucks. I'm one of those people. I'm like, I'm off Sundays, so Sundays, it's not bad. I like Sundays, especially when football starts. It's gonna be dope. But Saturdays, I usually go. Saturdays are actually one of my long days. I think I work like almost like 10 hours. But yeah, I'm not gonna let that get me down. Love the podcast, love the viewers, love my family, love everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Like I said, I am your main man, your main wrestling guru, your boy E, on the mic always. We have a lot on tap today. We have our WWE Smackdown preview. Then we have our Thursday Night Wrestling review. We jump into the world of Ring of Honor, also TNA Impact. And then we're going to follow it up with WWE briefcase, the Money in the Bank briefcase, in my opinion. And I've, read a lot of sources online and stuff like that, a lot of articles. It's kind of supporting this fact, to saying that was the Money in the Bank briefcase wasted? This Money in the Bank. I overall agree that why am I giving it away? Stay tuned. Then we're going to jump on. We're going to talk about John Cena's retirement tour. We've been talking about John Cena quite a lot on the podcast. Obviously, he's the best wrestler to ever do it. So we're going to kind of go through the rundown of, kind of what he said in his press conference, what other wrestlers kind of perceive what's going to happen. But most importantly, I'm going to give you guys my prediction on how it's all going to end up for John Cena at WrestleMania 41. And lastly, like every Friday, my last segment, I talk about my weekly wrestling news roundup. I talk about some of the biggest headlines in sports, inside the ring, outside the ring, behind the curtain, even sometimes, in Hollywood and stuff like that. So yeah, make sure I can't wait to, get started. Well, guys, before we do anything, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. We get a number of questions from viewers like you that come in during the show. So leave a positive review here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button. Follow the show, follow the GSMC Sports Network so I can take you along a ride. Professional wrestling ending every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern time. And if you guys leave a chat, honestly, it shows a lot better with a lot of audience engagement. Other than that, I'm just mumbling, by myself on the podcast for an hour. I'm just kidding. It's oh, it's so bad. I'm just kidding. No, but I definitely love it when you guys give me your opinions. Tell me, how do you think the Money in the Bank briefcase was kind of wasted? Let me know what you guys think about what's going to happen on SmackDown, the world of your Ring of Honor, TNA, wherever. This is your wrestling show. I kind of like to compare the show as you're kind of sitting at a bar, you're a wrestling fan, and then you kind of walk into, coincidentally sit next to somebody who also has a passion for wrestling, and then you just hash it out, hang out, and chill. So, once again, the link is at the gsmcpodcast.net. So let's dig on into that. All right, our first segment, let's talk about WWE Smackdown. WWE Smackdown is live tonight from the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts. It's time. It's time to start building up towards SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer, happening August 3rd in Cleveland, Ohio, at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Finally, poor Cleveland Browns Stadium is going to get, probably a chance at achieving success. No, I'm just kidding. No, the Browns have always kind of had a really good team. Deshaun Watson kind of needs to, do Deshaun Watson things like when he was like pretty good. But, it's kind of crazy how they got rid of Joe Flacco. But, nevertheless, talk about wrestling. So, Bayley is preparing for her title match against Nia Jax at SummerSlam. So you could expect probably like a back and forth hazing. Honestly, you're gonna have Tiffany Stratton, Tiffy Time, Mrs. Money in the Bank. She's gonna be, accompanying Nia Jax. But Nia Jax, she's, is also a little skeptical about Tiffany Stratton now, knowing that she could cash in the case after the match with Bayley, perhaps taking away Nia Jax's chance at being the WWE Women's Champion holder, which would kind of be, honestly, I would not like to see that. I've wanted to see Nia Jax kind of have a singles run, kind of, hold a championship longer than, what she had before. So definitely think that was pretty cool. Tonight we're going to see Nia Jax taking on Michin of the OC. Obviously, they've had a lot of back and forth negative banter, attacking each other on numerous occasions. So now they're going to be in the ring. They're going to settle. They're going to hash it out. No doubt in my mind. Obviously, you're going to see Nia Jax kind of picking up the victory here. But what I'm kind of speculating what's going to happen is obviously Michin stepped in when Bayley was, getting attacked. So you're going to see Bayley probably do the same thing. And then Bayley, you're going to see Tiffany Stratton and then Nia Jax totally start taking down Bayley. And then it's going to get to the point where they kind of look at each other and they're like, oh, I'm going to be the one to defeat her. No, I'm going to be the, you know what I mean? Like you're going to get that classic WWE kind of promo there. Next, we have Apollo Crews is teaming up with Baron Corbin, taking on Legado del Fantasma. It's going to be interesting to see who picks up this match. Obviously, it is kind of a low, mid-card kind of match. But Baron Corbin has been trying to reestablish his character ever since he's been brought up by NXT. Right now on the SmackDown division, you kind of need a little bit, kind of more, kind of not thunder within the singles division. Because just to name them off, you have Kevin Owens, you have Randy Orton, you also have Logan Paul, LA Knight, and now, kind of rising up rapidly. You've seen Solo Sikoa be that type of person. And you have Cody Rhodes, so 6 of the top SmackDown superstars. And if, Baron Corbin has the potential to have all that, definitely 1,010% to be someone that WWE could, kind of hold a title for, kind of hold it, give the title to him. I have a chat from my man, Jin freaking PNG. United States of America, acknowledge me. That's cool. I acknowledge you, my friend. I acknowledge you, my man. So a lot of stuff happening on SmackDown tonight. We have the new WWE Tag Team Champions. You have D.I.Y. going to be on SmackDown. What's Austin Theory and Darren Waller? What are they going to do? Are they going to ask for a rematch? Is the WWE going to finally split them up? I know there's been a lot of speculation of a face turn for Austin Theory. I kind of like it. I think it would be great for his character. Also, Grayson Waller fully, fully accepting that heel. Absolutely. He kind of reminds me of an Australian, kind of like Chris Jericho, where he's able to kind of manipulate people to kind of go on his side and stuff like that, but he ultimately kind of uses them, so to speak. So definitely, in my opinion, I think it's about time to break these two up. These two could definitely have a lot of singles, success. So yeah, honestly, break them up. So will Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair be booked for WWE SummerSlam as friends or as foes? This is another question that's kind of been floating around the wrestling entertainment, social media and stuff like that. A lot of people could see Jade going heel, Bianca being that babyface once again, but it would be kind of cool. It'd be kind of interesting to see if there's, for the have the shoe on the other foot, so that kind of saying or whatever. But Bianca's always going to be a face. It's so hard. So hard, 1,010%. Obviously, she does have her show with Montez Ford, stepping into their real life, kids and stuff like that. So, the world of WWE loves her. I don't know. Obviously, you have Jade Cargill coming from AEW. She has definitely definitely the heart, she has the creative mind to put on a really good wrestling match, even though, her talent obviously outweighs her opponents. She's able to kind of go inside that ring, kind of be a tactician, kind of manipulate the audience into thinking that, this is an actual match. This is actually pretty cool. Maybe they actually do have a chance against the bigger, stronger, faster, more athletic Jade Cargill. So definitely, think that she's good in terms of that. It would be interesting to see her win a championship. Obviously, they still have their rematch clause against the WWE World Women's Tag Team Champions. But it should be interesting to find out what happens with that. LA Knight still clearly chasing after Logan Paul, the United States champion. It's time. Since the month of November 2023, Logan Paul has only defended his championship twice. And, by all means, that has nothing to do with Logan. He's actually been pretty active on social media about it, saying WWE needs to have the United States Championship, competed more on PLEs because, it kind of diminishes the title. I don't, right now, I feel like with the title not being defended constantly, I feel like they're more or less kind of using the popularity of Logan Paul to, bring prestige to that title. So obviously, it kind of needs to be the other way around. The title needs to prestige the wrestler, kind of like when you saw Cody Rhodes finish his story, kind of like when you had Roman Reigns as the Universal Champion. Like, he was Roman Reigns, yes, but that championship, no one's ever done that before. When you think of Roman Reigns, you think of one of the longest reigning like it means something. It means something. And, like I said, it wasn't so much surrounded with him, but more or less the title in itself. So, definitely think they should do something tonight on SmackDown. Have not watched a single shred of social media, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram. Don't have no idea. I have Raw, I have SmackDown taped right now, so I can't wait to watch it. So, yeah. All right, so Cody Rhodes needs an opponent for SummerSlam. There's a lot of speculation saying that Solo Sikoa is going to be the one, but in my opinion, I feel like it's way too fast. I feel like it's way too fast. I know Roman Reigns has not been seen since April. It's been about 3 or 4 months, heading for 4 months. But Solo, this is another thing also. Like Solo Sikoa before he became this tribal chief badass, I felt like he never really kind of had the accolades or kind of I don't know how to, like the confidence that the tribal chief needs to have to be able to cut good promos, to be able to get the fans absolutely pissed off as a heel. As a heel, Solo Sikoa is killing it, 1,010%. And him jumping in the ring with Cody Rhodes is kind of like one of those things where it's like, it's kind of a lose-lose. Like, first lose is you can have, you know, obviously Cody Rhodes is better than Solo Sikoa. You have Cody Rhodes retain the championship. People walk out of SummerSlam, they're like, that felt kind of forced. He didn't really, why did WWE do that? Should have had it stewed for a little bit. But if Solo Sikoa wins, thanks to like some outside interference, they're like, okay, now Solo Sikoa could only win because of he's not that strong. He's only there because of his family. He only got that tribal chief gig because Roman Reigns wasn't there. People will be like, okay, like this is so staged. This is so set up. Like, they put the title on Cody. They made us wait 2 years, 2 Royal Rumble wins to see Cody Rhodes hold the WWE Undisputed Championship. And then just in 3 to 4 months, you have him lose against someone on the WWE roster named Solo Sikoa, who has not really had any success as a high card match participant, has not really competed in any big crazy matches. After he beat John Cena at WrestleMania, he went on like I think it was like a 30 match or something like that. It was like a huge losing streak. And then all of a sudden Roman leaves and then he gets his family, the Tongans and stuff like that. Now he's, the shit. Or he's number one. So, definitely, WWE has to really be careful who they choose. My best bet would probably be Randy Orton. I feel like if, Randy Orton takes on Cody Rhodes, it kind of, they're in legacy together. Cody Rhodes Randy Orton is a huge part of who Cody Rhodes kind of ultimately became, and kind of gave Cody Rhodes the confidence to kind of, go out there and kind of do things on his own, because Randy saw Cody Rhodes' talent. At the time, WWE created with Vince McMahon, so obviously, they weren't really so high on the American Dream's son, the American Nightmare. So then Cody Rhodes went out. He went elsewhere. And kind of have it come full circle, kind of like the student becomes the teacher, kind of, so to speak. So definitely think that's absolutely, kind of crazy. Will Solo Sikoa make a challenge tonight? I'm not too sure. I feel like it'd be forced. I kind of don't want to see it. And, SmackDown ended last week with him urging Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes to take the tribal chief necklace off him and from him. So, I feel like that tag of the tribal chief right now kind of is a little more important than, in his eyes, than the WWE championship. I feel like he ultimately wants to win that championship and beat Cody Rhodes and just, kind of rub it in Roman Reigns' face. You know what I mean? Who's going to be the real tribal chief, All right, guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to touch on a Thursday Night Wrestling reviewer, me, your GSMC Wrestling Laureate, Laureate Podcast host, jumps into the world of Ring of Honor and TNA. So yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some loose shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about. We talked about our WWE Smackdown preview. How's it going to go tonight in Massachusetts? But before we move on any further to our next segment, we're going to have our Thursday night wrestling review where we jump into the Ring of Honor. Also, TNA Impact, kind of world out there. Just want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, concerns about professional wrestling. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like about, the content. Or the podcast, or just my opinion, and in itself, definitely love other opinions. Definitely love to see different perspectives. I welcome them rather more than kind of just turn a blind eye and be like, oh, that was the right, that's not right. Like, what I mean? Definitely not that kind of person. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Also follow the show and also the network. Also, leave a positive review here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. So don't be too shy. Send a chat. Send me absolutely anything about wrestling. Once again, the link is at the GSMCpodcast.net. All right, so we have our Thursday night wrestling review. Let's go ahead and start about total nonstop action Impact Wrestling. We are still on the road to Slammiversary. Slammiversary is happening July 20th, which is, what's today, the 12th? Tomorrow, so next Saturday. Ooh, that's getting kind of close. That's crazy. So Jordynne Grace retains her championship. She had an open challenge. I had a lot of speculation that it was probably going to be an NXT superstar. Obviously, Izzy Dane was the one who answered the call. She's good. She's pretty good. NXT, she's pretty dominant. She did get choked out by Thea Hale on on NXT on Tuesday. But overall, she's a great wrestler. A great challenge for Jordynne Grace. Obviously, she's kind of defending her championship against Ash by Elegance at Slammiversary, which is going to be a great match. It's going to be crazy. Jordynne Grace's reign as TNA Knockouts World Champion is still pretty prestigious. Going to be interesting to see if they put the strap on Ash by Elegance, because I think she was injured earlier. I think like 2 months ago, or I don't know if she was injured, but she did take a break where she was out for a couple of weeks. She was on this winning streak. I think she won like 3 or 4 in a row. And then, then she kind of disappeared a little bit. But now she's back. She's still, still kicking some arse. You know what I mean? Like, she's still killing it on TNA. And her against Jordynne Grace, it's going to be great. I feel like it's going to be a great match. Next, you have Santina Marella coming out, announcing a wild card tag team match for later on tonight. Main event, Josh Alexander and Joe Hendry to fight Moose and Steve Macklin. Next, we have Charlie Dempsey. Charlie Dempsey of WWE NXT. Well, I think they're just calling it NXT now. It's kind of crazy. I kind of noticed that when I watched NXT on Tuesday and when I watched, not Slammiversary, the NXT Heatwave. It's WWE. It's completely having NXT kind of be on its own, standing legs. Kind of like what it needs to be when it goes to the CW and it starts eventually having to sell out arenas, having to kind of, go that extra mile, being unpredictable and stuff like that. And the partnership between these two the collaborations, crossovers, I think are genius for both brands. So, definitely something cool. Charlie Dempsey defeated Zachary Wentz. Miles Bourne also showed up. Also, during the promo after the match, you saw the No Quarter Catch crew beat down Trey Miguel. Pretty crazy. Awesome. I thought it was a great promo. Charlie Dempsey, kind of like what I was talking about, kind of like what I've been saying about ever since Drew Gulak leaving the WWE and leaving the No Quarter Catch crew without really, any guidance, any leaders, so to speak. But I don't know if Drew Gulak could ultimately step into it, the TNA wrestling ring. That would be pretty awesome if he made his debut back with the no quarter catcher. I think that'd be pretty dope. Charlie Dempsey he's impressive in himself. He obviously the son of WWE. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. William Regal. So definitely some. He fits on there. Definitely fits on there. So Santino Marella sees all the carnage happening inside the ring, announces a 6-man tag team match between the Rascals and the No Quarter Catch crew. Right now online, you kind of have Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel and the partners TBD to be determined, but we all know who's it going to be. It's going to be the longest reigning WWE NXT North American champion, Wes Lee. Probably but not probably, guys. That's going to happen. That's an Eric Rodriguez sure thing. That's my GSMC Wrestling, sure thing. It's going to happen right there. So next we have the X Division #1 contenders match with Kushida, Jonathan Gresham, and Mike Bailey. It was pretty great. It was a great match. A lot of back and forth. Definitely showcased that all these three guys obviously deserve to be in the X Division, and they probably deserve a shot at Mustafa Ali 1,010%. Kushida coming back recently. I think it was that against all odds. I think it was, and then obviously Jonathan Gresham. He's been doing pretty well. He had the momentum. He's been winning some matches, and everyone was like, okay, when all three of these men stepped into the ring, you kind of knew that. I was like, okay, honestly, it's kind of anyone's ballgame. Even with Mike Bailey from Speedball Mountain. After the match, when Mike Bailey picked up the victory, Secret Service came out to take him out. Trent Seven tries to make the save, ultimately, kind of came up short, and that kind of was the end for the Speedball Mountain kind of there. Next, we have a promo by Stephie Lander. Stephie Lander sitting on the beach watching the waves. It was kind of corny, but it was so corny in the best way. Like it was pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Saying that she asked PCO that she has to go tie up some loose ends at her hometown in Australia so they can be together. She said it, and she wrote it in a heart in the sand. She's like, "Oh my God, like, will you wait for me?" And then she said, I think it was SDL, Stephie Lander, and then you had PCO, and it was cute. It was kind of cute. I was like, dude, this is very manipulative. This is, I think this is good TV. I thought it was corny as hell, but it was awesome as hell. So congratulations, round of applause. So, next you have AJ Francis retaining his digital media title against Rhino. First Class attacked Rhino at the beginning of the match, leading to a disqualification. But then it was restarted by Santino Marella into a street fight. And it kind of sucked. Rhino still lost, but it was a hell of an effort. Then you saw Giselle Shaw defeat Tasha Steelz. JDC defeated Chris Bay. And in the main event, thanks to freaking Frankie Kazarian, you saw Moose and Steve Macklin pick up the victory against Josh Alexander and Joe Hendry. Say his name, man. He appears. All right, so now let's go to Ring of Honor. We had Ring of Honor Honor Club, July 11th. Taya Valkyrie with Johnny TV defeated Marina Shafir, The Problem, and Robin Renegade in a 3-way match. Obviously, you've had I feel like Marina Shafir, The Problem, has been pushed, as of late in terms of Ring of Honor. So she's, going to be one of the futures of the business. I feel that way. Ring of Honor World Television Champion Atlantis Jr. defeated Serpentico to retain his title. Sky Blue defeated Laney Luck. Ring of Honor World Women's Television Champion Billy Starks with Athena defeated Mackenzie Morgan in a proving ground match. Diamante defeated Nyx. Lee Johnson and the Infantry defeated the Dark Order, which was, kind of surprising to me. Absolutely, 1,010%. I thought the Dark Order has been kind of building up some momentum. Kind of like, when I saw, in CMLL. I want to say CML. In CMLL, you saw, Kyle Fletcher losing his Ring of Honor World Television Championship. Obviously, I believe that they're kind of brewing up. They're kind of buttering Kyle Fletcher to make it onto AEW and ultimately fight full time there. He's in the Don Callis family. Will Ospreay is going to be kicked out and probably victimized by the Don Callis family in the foreseeable future. Probably after his match with MJF, but I think Kyle Fletcher's a star. I think he's a huge star. Like I said, kind of crazy how he lost the belt, but I can see why. I can see why. All right, guys, that was my Thursday night wrestling review. Obviously, if you have more to chat about, if you have something you saw that you want to talk about and speak about, make sure you hit it up in the chat. But do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our third segment. I'm going to talk about how the Money in the Bank cash-in was absolutely wasted. The briefcase was wasted, in my opinion. There, kind of spoiler alert. And I'm kind of how I'm leaning toward this whole situation. But we're going to dig on into the subject matter. So hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about. We talked about our WWE Smackdown preview. We also talked about my Thursday Night Wrestling review, where I jump into the world of Ring of Honor, also TNA Impact. We talk about all the major headlines there, kind of how the episode went, and kind of like where some of these superstars, in terms of momentum or storylines, or potential title matches, where they, kind of going to go next. So without further ado, we're going to jump on into our third segment. We're going to talk about our WWE Money in the Bank cash-in was wasted, absolutely wasted. But before we jump into that, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Use that link right there. Be a part of the show. It really does help the show. Leave a positive review here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. Ultimately, send it to chat. Tell me how you feel about professional wrestling, how you think SmackDown's going to go tonight. Maybe, what happened, how you think, so your reactions to certain things. How do you feel about how the Money in the Bank briefcase cash-in happened and was wasted by the whole Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, but make sure you hit up that the GSMCpodcast.net. That'd be absolutely awesome. 1,010%. Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show, and follow the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast and the Sports Network. All right. So recently we had our WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view. A lot of the times this pay-per-view is marked in my calendar because I love it so much. I love to see who wins the briefcase. Love that anticipation of, oh my God, when are they going to cash it in? When are they going to cash it in? I always kind of think that they're going to cash it in at WrestleMania to pull off a Seth Rollins and stuff like that. But, sometimes that's not the case. So, yeah, kind of a breakdown of the match. It was a hellacious battle. Obviously, you saw Drew McIntyre get his hands raised, won the briefcase, and in the same night, cashed it against Damian Priest and Seth Rollins, making it a triple threat match. Drew McIntyre was going to win. He was right there. And then, of course, he happened. CM Punk comes out and he screws over Drew McIntyre for not the first time, not the second time, but the third time. I think the first one was at WrestleMania. The second time was at King of the Ring. And then, now we have the third time at Money in the Bank. Crazy. The way they're pushing this is, it's kind of crazy. Did WWE waste the Money in the Bank briefcase? That's the question that I want to ask all of you guys. Send in your answers inside the chat. We can talk about it. I don't know, but we as the WWE universe, as wrestling fans, we don't get that lingering winner waiting for an impromptu title match anymore. We don't get that, it could happen at any time, you know what I mean? Which kind of sucks. I'm gonna definitely miss that, you know what I mean? WWE showed, a huge reason why I believe they're kind of developing concrete storylines with Cody Rhodes as well as Damian Priest. With the Money in the Bank briefcase kind of lingering around, I could see how WWE can't really sink their teeth into a storyline to last from like now, build it up all the way to WrestleMania or something like that, or WrestleMania season or the Royal Rumble. So I can imagine WWE kind of gave themselves a break. They're like, look, like, this is kind of beneficial. We, strengthen the feud between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. And we can also kind of, sit down, have hardcore ideas, talks like that. This could help in terms of creativity. By all means, that could 1,010%. But just that lingering Money in the Bank briefcase was, pretty awesome. Like I said, I feel like WWE's putting a lot of effort into this feud between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, and the excitement of the Money in the Bank cash in was essentially kind of sacrificed for CM Punk's and Drew McIntyre's feud. Which, it's never really kind of happened like this before in Money in the Bank. Definitely nothing of this kind of caliber. Building up the match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Probably happening at SummerSlam. Probably going to be the main event, which is kind of crazy. But, no, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be the main event. But WWE's trying so hard to push this feud. And I get it. I think it's pretty awesome. I loved how CM Punk is still kind of like that anti-hero where he's not really seen as a babyface. He's not really seen as a heel. So then sometimes he does something or say things that we're like, yeah, yeah. Or sometimes he does vice versa. Where we're like, dude, what did this guy just say? Like, dude, why is he back in the WWE? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. Drew McIntyre obviously is going to be absolutely irate. Didn't really see anything really pop off on on Monday Night Raw because I don't think Drew McIntyre was there because he's quote unquote suspended indefinitely. So next week he's going to be he's going to talk to Adam Pearce, and it's just like Adam Pearce asked CM Punk not to come to the arena so they can kind of work out a business and stuff like that. You saw Drew McIntyre elbow the Raw general manager in the face, kind of crazy. But it was a little dirty, to be honest. It was a bit naughty, but it's cool. It was cool. So something I kind of wanted to talk about also is SmackDown. SmackDown, I feel like ultimately kind of got snubbed in terms of this because you had superstars that are by all means ready to kind of get pushed, kind of ready to reach the next level in their kind of like in their careers. Like you still had Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was still there. He could still, be a pretty dynamite holder of the Money in the Bank briefcase. You could have saw LA Knight, although they're building up LA Knight and Logan Paul for SummerSlam. Would have been interesting to see him winning the Money in the Bank, and I know that'd be kind of just it'd be different. Andrade once again being kind of shoved around by WWE right now. WWE, he's been having success on speed and winning his matches on SmackDown, but it seems like there's just a lack in his character. Like obviously he's gonna be involved into something that includes perhaps in the future against Logan Paul. That would be pretty awesome to see. Carmelo Hayes, I get it. He's a young guy, recently got drafted to WWE Smackdown from NXT. Imagine if he would have won the champ or the briefcase. It would have absolutely skyrocketed his career and would have kind of ensured the future for like a young superstar. You know what I mean? But I could see in terms of the inexperience level when he botched that promo with the LA Knight about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Can't remember. But he has that attitude. He has that it factor in him that, once when he talks or when he talks mess, it gets under people's skin. It 1,010% gets the fans involved. Whenever he's on the screen, you kind of look, you're like, oh shit, oh crap, it's Carmelo Hayes. It's crazy. It's the man. He is him. It's crazy. So it would have been interesting to see him win the briefcase. Would have been awesome. And just another thought, just to kind of finally get this Judgment Day, Civil War thing going. Well, not Civil War, but kind of like the breakup going. The Raw has been teasing it throughout, the past couple of months with the whole Liv Morgan thing, infiltrating, Judgment Day. I honestly don't think they, obviously they couldn't have prepared for Rhea Ripley getting injured. Rhea Ripley getting injured. Maybe they kind of had a different way, but once she got injured, we're like, okay, we got to change something. It would have been interesting to see Finn Balor make it in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Would have been cool to kind of see him cash in on Damian Priest or something like that. And then, Damian Priest gets victimized by JD McDonough, Dominic Mysterio, Carlito, and the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion Finn Balor. That would have been pretty awesome. Kick him out entirely. But, obviously we didn't get a chance to see that. I thought that would have been pretty awesome. And, people still kind of advocating for Jey Uso. Jey Uso still kind of left out there. Recently, I read a report that Jimmy Uso is cleared to compete in WWE right now. I don't see them really reuniting anytime soon. But I don't know how, close they're going to start pushing. Roman Reigns coming back, Solo Sikoa becoming the new tribal chief, winning the WWE Undisputed Championship. Because I feel like since Roman was the champion for so long as the tribal chief, if you're the tribal chief and you don't have a championship, I can't really take you seriously. I'm sorry, dude. Sorry, dog. Sorry, Solo. But there's so many different ways this Money in the Bank briefcase, this match could have been better. 1,010%. All right, and kind of wrapping this up, just to kind of, pay respects in the women's division. You saw Tiffany Stratton win the Money in the Bank briefcase. She's Mrs. Money in the Bank. I think that was a smart move by WWE. I thought it was great. They're still, pushing her despite all the negative, all the turmoil surrounding her social media and stuff like that. Kind of crazy, not condoning any actions, not saying, but she's in WWE right now. Even Triple H kind of said, look, we're not, we're gonna address it at a certain time, you know what I mean? But we're still, we're still pretty invested in the Tiffany Stratton. So I know she has a great attitude for a heel. She's very smart at pulling the strings of the WWE universe, getting the fans involved, getting them kind of pissed off. You have your Tiffany Stratton lovers, you have your Tiffany Stratton kind of haters. And I don't know. I just feel like especially with the women's brand on WWE Smackdown, you kind of need someone with a little more pop. Bayley, she's, I don't want to say she's a transitional champion, but this whole WWE Women's Championship run has been kind of, not really that entertaining, not really kind of like in your face and stuff like that. Obviously, I do think that's going to change whatever happens at WWE Summerslam. If Nia Jax wins, if Bayley wins, like this, this could be big. This could be big for Tiffany Stratton. She could definitely cement her name as one of the most popular, familiar faces, the new blood of professional wrestling. Once again, WWE pushing those young stars in the women's division, would be awesome. Stars injured. We have, Charlotte Flair, Asuka. We also have Alexa Bliss and a couple others. And obviously Becky Lynch, she's not injured, but she's taking time away from professional wrestling. So, the women's division on WWE still kind of, I feel like that's the reason why they are kind of hinting at Bianca Belair, maybe Jade Cargill, breakup. So they can finally push for the singles run. I think they would be amazing in terms of that. So, yeah. That was my opinion about the Money in the Bank briefcase cash-in. It was ultimately sacrificed to put over the feud between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know if you think the Money in the Bank briefcase cash-in was wrong. Let me know, give me a spicy take of who you think should have won the briefcase, and let's have fun with this. All right, guys. Well, do not go anywhere. Our fourth segment, we're going to jump on into the John Cena retirement tour. We're going to talk about it. Kind of analyze it a little bit. And I'm going to give you guys, my predictions on how I think it's all going to kind of unfold. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right. And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, talking all things professional wrestling in the world of WWE mostly. AEW, Ring of Honor, TNA. Also, we touch on Stardom here and there, the MLW, the NWA. We try to, I try to pay my respects to the multiple, get the little guy a little, breath of fresh air. Also, some talking. So just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We talked about our WWE Smackdown preview. We also talked about my Thursday Night Wrestling review, where I jump into the world of Ring of Honor and TNA and give you guys my takes. Also review the shows that they had on Thursday. And then our third segment, we talked about how I ultimately feel how the Money in the Bank cash-in was I feel like it was wasted. Ultimately, I do feel like it was wasted. And then our fourth segment, let's talk about the John Cena retirement tour. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on into the subject matter. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be off the hook. It's going to be dope. So we have John Cena. John Cena made an appearance at Money in the Bank in Toronto. Says that WrestleMania 41 will be his last appearance. Obviously, he was kind of talking about other couple PLEs like the Royal Rumble. He mentioned the Royal Rumble. He also mentioned the Elimination Chamber. And he mentioned Las Vegas, WrestleMania 41. I don't know which night he's going to appear on. Probably night 2. I don't know if they're going to give him the main event. That'd be kind of interesting. That'd be interesting to kind of see something like that happen. But honestly, it's kind of crazy. So there's been a lot of speculation, especially in the terms of professional wrestling talk throughout social media, that do you think John Cena is going to win his 17th World Championship, breaking the long-standing record held by the Nature Boy, Ric Flair? It's a maybe. Yeah, it is. It's a maybe. I know a lot of people are like this guy's, he's old. If WWE lets this happen, I feel like they're kind of shooting young talent in the foot. But I feel like that would ultimately be the right approach or the right opinion in my perspective. If he wasn't, if he wins the championship, he said WrestleMania 41 will be his last appearance. If he wins at WrestleMania, obviously, he's not going to hold on to the title. He will have that record. He will be the 17-time 17-time WWE World Champion. And by all means, one of the greatest wrestlers in the whole entire sport of professional wrestling is John Cena. Hands down. This guy's amazing. This guy's, he's an amazing superstar. He's an amazing athlete. He's an amazing wrestler. He's just all around amazing. He's an amazing guy, granted the most wishes from the Make-A-Wish Foundation at 650. This guy has a huge heart. He cares about the business, cares about WWE, and he's represented WWE in the most positive of all spotlights in terms of public relations. He's, every single time he goes out there, no allegations, no scandals or stuff like that. Because people be like, oh, former WWE superstar John Cena. Like, he wasn't part of that life. Obviously, Vince McMahon, on the other hand, no, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. Does he deserve to get rewarded after everything that he's done for WWE? Right now, I can't even fathom a superstar on. I think if he makes it onto any brand, Raw or SmackDown, I ultimately feel like he would be good even at his age right now. He still has a lot left in the tank. He's, I think, 41. No, I could be wrong. He'd be way older than that. I think he's 45, something like that. Not too sure. Gotta fact check that one. But he still has a lot. He still looks good. He still looks damn good. John Cena is still a champion. Obviously, you see, you had Triple H running, the course for a pretty long time. winning WWE championships just to kind of stir up the storylines, especially, during that, during his run from as the Authority, where he came in and helped set freaking Rollins and stuff like that. And then you also have, I don't think he's right there at the precipice of being too old to hold a title. That's not really it. There was a lot of speculation saying that John Cena just, he wouldn't really want that. Like, he ultimately, yes, he wants to be remembered from WWE, and by all means, he will be. He doesn't really want to come in. He'd be a giant hypocrite, because he said before, like, he kind of talked crap on Dwayne The Rock Johnson, saying that, oh, he's just a part-timer. I'm never a part-timer. But right now he is a part-timer. He's a part-timer. So, definitely pretty awesome of John Cena coming back to wrestling his home for, a nice little retirement tour. So, as far as his title run, would it mean for him to be a full-time, during this retirement tour, kind of like a full-time superstar? I feel like that'd be a lot for him. I do, 1,010%. And when asked about the 2025 schedule, John Cena stated that he was aiming to appear from 30 to 40 dates. So, Raw, SmackDown, a couple PLEs, because this is like 18 months from now. This is like in April. This is a long time from now. Definitely not April. No, not 18 months. I think I read that. No. I think I read that wrong. But it's to the point where he could, be a part of the wrestling storyline, be a part of Raw or SmackDown, start building up momentum to the point where maybe he could fight for a WWE championship run. Maybe he could, very much damn well win it at WrestleMania. And everybody, WWE creative would have to do so much good for his storyline, for his character, that when he steps into the ring, people can't ultimately assume that he's going to win. And I got a chat from Robin Woodhurst. Hi. Hello. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having an amazing Friday. Hope you have an amazing weekend. So John Cena, 30 to 40 dates. That's not too bad. That's pretty doable. And like I said, after everything Cena has done for the WWE, I kind of feel like they owe it to him for him to cement his legacy. Not that he has not already have a legacy. 17-time world champion. Who is that? That's John Cena, the best WWE superstar inside and outside of the ring. 1,010%. So my predictions can go one of two ways, and I have a dorky third one. But my first one is on, my first one is he wins. He wins, and I got thank you to I miss Cena. I honestly, I'm gonna miss John Cena. He was great on the mic. He has great skills. Whenever he's funny. 1,010%. He's funny. He makes watching WWE very, very impactful. Also, you're on the edge of your seat because you're like, dude, this guy can perform, high risk maneuvers. This guy's a huge powerhouse. This guy's a tactical wrestler. Also, he could run submissions. Definitely your Swiss Army knife of a WWE superstar. We were lucky to witness John Cena inside the ring. So prediction number one, John Cena wrestles from Raw, because I don't know if he will just make it to SmackDown, because then he'd have to fight Cody Rhodes, which could very much happen. Okay, let's just go through a couple of scenarios. Scenario number one, he becomes the 17-time world champion. How that would go is probably, have him win the Royal Rumble. It would be cheesy as hell, 1,010%. I'm not arguing that, despiting that fact. But he'd probably win the Royal Rumble. He would probably choose someone. I don't think he would choose someone like Cody Rhodes, given that, Cody Rhodes is still champion, or, Damian Priest, or like, Gunther or whatever. But I think ultimately if he wins, he's going to win at the Royal Rumble. Or if he loses the Royal Rumble, he could gain a spot at the Elimination Chamber. Obviously, you kind of have the Royal Rumble for that big, absolutely shock. Obviously if John Cena would win, it'd be pretty awesome. Then he goes to WrestleMania 41 to win the championship. Then he retires, lays the belt down in the center of the ring, saying that, all right, my time is up. Your guys' time is now. He officially leaves WWE forever. I got another chat. He was like the only one that kept the company alive. I agree with that. I think that's 1,010% correct. Good point, Robin. I feel like John Cena even when he's in his movies, when he was in the Fast and Furious, or when he was in Blockers, or when he was in Vacation Friends, or doing the Marine or something like that, or Saturday Night Live, or on TV when he made cameos. You saw him, you're like, oh, that's he's from WWE. That's John Cena. You talk to a non-wrestling fan, they know who John Cena is. You're like, oh, who's John Cena? They're like, oh, he used to be a wrestler. Did you ever watch wrestling? Be like, no, I just know of him. Just, the idea of keeping WWE alive in the hearts of wrestling fans and potential future wrestling fans. Like, I believe all this generation of WWE fans watched John Cena when they were younger, when they were little kids, brought to a stadium to see this man do what he does best inside of a WWE ring. A lot of kids love John Cena. No surprise. He's basically he's a freaking superhero. He's probably a hero to a lot of people. He is the GOAT. He is 1,010% the GOAT of professional wrestling. So let's go about six. We're kind of running out of time. Scenario number 2, it's John Cena loses at WrestleMania. I feel like he's going to fight in the Royal Rumble. Would be pretty awesome to see him fight against CM Punk. Him and CM Punk are the last two in the Royal Rumble. Then, obviously the pipe bomb still in the brains of WWE fans, wrestling fans, and within that. And, CM Punk addressed one superstar. It was, he expressed multiple superstars, but he was pissed that John Cena was basically the golden goose. So then he has his, kind of peace with John Cena as he throws John Cena over the ropes. CM Punk wins, and he gets a main title shot at WWE WrestleMania. Also, just imagine, CM Punk. Then he has to, fight in the main event. He gets what he wants, what he's been dying for his whole entire career of main eventing WrestleMania. And then there's Elimination Chamber. Then he'll fight in Elimination Chamber. Then he wins the Elimination Chamber match, only to fight against, someone who that CM Punk would have not chosen. At this point, I think I would have the championship, the World Heavyweight Championship. Somehow, some way, Drew McIntyre wins it. Faces CM Punk, a reuniting of rivalries between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre happening at WrestleMania. So that just leaves one more champion, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, if he's still champion. Cody Rhodes has an amazing last match. Well, John Cena has an amazing last match with the WWE Undisputed Champion. A lot of people think John Cena's going to win. He has him up. He kicks out of the Attitude Adjustment. Cody Rhodes hits the Crossroads not once, not twice, but 3 times. John Cena's last match, he loses at WrestleMania 41 to Cody Rhodes. Gets up, stares Cody Rhodes flat in the face. Because you got to remember, at WrestleMania 40, John Cena did come out to help even the odds against this bloodline, the final boss. They shake hands. John Cena says, all right, it's your time now. This was something that John Cena kind of had to do with Roman Reigns when that promo where John Cena was like, the only reason why I'm still here, Roman, is you can't do your job. You can't get a good promo. This was a long time ago, obviously, before Roman Reigns kind of went heel. But then there's still that speculation of The Rock fighting Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. So I'm not sure how far that idea would kind of go. But I don't know. It's just kind of talk. And a third scenario, which, kind of dorky, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, next to nothing time. Imagine if he just comes back as as his different personas. What if he's the Thugonomics guy? But obviously that would not happen. But that'd be dorky as hell. That'd be cool. Definitely, 1,010%. And yeah. And we got a comment from Robin. John Cena kept the WWE still alive. Roman kept his family tree still alive. Wow, that, basically sums it up in a nutshell. I agree 1,010%. All right, guys, do not go anywhere. We have my 5th and final segment on a Friday. We're going to talk about my weekly wrestling news roundup. So, hey, do not go anywhere. All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, talking all things about professional wrestling. Some new, some old. I'm part of the older generation from wrestling fandom as well. Kind of that your wrestling bridge from the old generation to new generation, the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, to now this this Paul Levesque era. So yeah, we recently talked about my WWE Friday night Smackdown preview. We had my Thursday night wrestling review where we jump into the world of Ring of Honor and TNA Impact. We also talked about how the WWE Money in the Bank briefcase was ultimately wasted. And then we had John Cena's retirement tour talk. We went through a couple scenarios, likely scenarios, what we think is going to happen. And now fifth and finally, we're going to jump on into my weekly wrestling news roundup. We're going to talk about some of the headlines around professional wrestling industry before I leave you guys for your weekend. So if you ever get into a conversation with a wrestling fan, a further wrestling fan, you'll be like, oh, there's something I can bring up. There's something that, my boy E from the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought up. So first and foremost, our first news line, we have Dakota Kai issues warning about fake accounts being creative, impersonating her. In this day of digital media and social media, like fake account, they're everywhere. It's crazy. 1,010%. All the fraud and stuff like that. It's not good. It's kind of crazy how us as a society, we kind of got this far of, trying to push on something like that. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy. It's the world that we live in is crazy. 1,010%. Dakota Kai, she's still in Damage Control. I feel like a push for her would kind of be ideal, but I know she doesn't want to leave Damage Control so early because obviously she had that singles run within WWE, didn't really quite go as well. I think she was actually released in 2017 and then picked back up. Don't quote me on that. Gotta fact check that. But Dakota Kai, she's a good face. She could definitely be the person to run Damage Control. Obviously, when Asuka comes back, should be interesting to find out where they kind of decide to go in terms of this WWE women's faction. But Dakota Kai, stop impersonating her. What fans, come on, what are you doing? Don't impersonate anybody. Be yourself. You're beautiful on your own. All right, next we have Stephie Vaquer's first WWE appearance has been confirmed. It's going to be at Mexico City, also Monterrey, July 13th and 14th. Obviously, she's part of the CMLL family. She recently lost her New Japan Strong Women's Championship to Mercedes Moné at AEW. And not AEW against all odds. AEW. Oh, what was the last? Oh, I can't think of it right now. When I think of it, I'll probably shout out. I'll be like, oh, that's what it was. So Stephie Vaquer, this is impressive. And like what I kind of mentioned before a couple segments ago of how the women's division kind of needs a new face. I feel like Steph she's going to be amazing. She's going to be great. Brings a different style of wrestling to the WWE. Once again, WWE kind of still going out there. You also have Julia still hanging around. Her WWE debut is also still kind of lingering in the mist. But, picking up someone like Stephie Vaquer, that's pretty damn impressive by WWE, 1,010%. So definitely love that. Definitely love the way that, that whole direction's kind of going. All right, next, we have WWE plans to air Raw and NXT for specific shows on Sci-Fi during the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. So, obviously Fox involved with SmackDown, and then you have the USA Network. Obviously, it's called the USA Network for, USA. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the heck? They did not broadcast the Olympics. That'd be kind of crazy. So, it kind of gets people involved into the Olympics and stuff like that. I'm not really a huge Olympics kind of guy, but whenever I see it, it's, it's pretty crazy. It's just like, oh, the United States got the gold medal, or, Zimbabwe won the gold. Like, I don't really know much of it. See, I could probably already mess, but it, definitely something in terms of sports that I wish I could have paid more attention to. But, so now you have Raw and NXT moving to Sci-Fi for I think a week or like a week or two. It might be more than that. So, kind of crazy. All right, our next topic, we have Call of Duty is going to collaborate with the WWE. Call of Duty 5 could possibly be seeing skins, kind of like when you saw Bianca Belair skins and Becky Lynch when for Fortnite. So this could be something like that. It could be kind of interesting to see what Call of Duty kind of has in store with the WWE, how they plan to kind of market it, how they plan to, put it on top of a video game so people, first and foremost, like know that that's from WWE. But second of all, kind of bring attention to the WWE. Like, you know what I mean? That could possibly be the reason why, kind of appealing to a different audience, obviously gamers. I was a part of the gaming community probably for like a year. And that was like when Mortal Kombat 9 came out. And I used to play online and I was like one of those weird dorky players. Then I got to the point where I was like, dude, I'm done receiving death threats and people who claim they slept with my mom. So I'm out of here. Like, no, I'm just kidding. No, but I was just like, then I kind of grew out of it, I guess you can say. I was, done with that. Call of Duty is hopeless. I not hopeless. Like it's a great game. It's a great game. People love it. But I don't know if it's my reactions. I don't know if it's my, like, I can't see right. But I literally like take 15 steps and it's like, oh, you just die. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, damn it. So then I look at my kill to my death ratio, and I have like 3 kills, and then I have like 30 deaths, and I'm getting, I'm even getting threatened by my own teammates at this point. They're like, just get off, dude. We can do this without you. And I'm like, no, put me in, coach, put me in. Kind of crazy, but So Call of Duty plans to, collaborate with WWF. Should be interesting. WWE, excuse me. I don't want to get the World Wildlife Foundation. I'm just kidding. So moving on. All right. So Gunther has been asked a question about the future of him and Ludwig Kaiser. What's next for Imperium? He kind of addressed it. He talked about Ludwig Kaiser having a singles run, and this is kind of something he said, and I quote, he needs to do this. He being Ludwig Kaiser kind of needs to do things on his own. We don't always have to be seen together. So, kind of still leaving that, tag team, opportunity open. Should be interesting to see maybe along the lines these guys, represent the company. 2 young, talented superstars, Ludwig Kaiser for sure. Definitely has a lot of special, definitely has a lot of potential, heading toward the future within WWE. And, Gunther, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. He 1,010%. Without Imperium, he can still kind of do it. Gunther push is in the future for sure. Him holding a WWE World Championship is definitely in the future for sure. I don't know if he's going to be if he's going to beat Damian Priest at SummerSlam. It seems a little bit fitting right now. You have Damian Priest win all of his championship matches thanks to the Judgment Day, not really establishing the singles vibe. And now since Rhea's back, and now I feel like Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito clearly have the direction they want to take Judgment Day. And I think, Damian Priest he's gonna bow out pretty soon. So it should be interesting to see, what else could happen right now. So I got a comment from Peter Curry. When will Andrew Martin Test be in the Hall of Fame? I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. He was prominent definitely during the Attitude Era and stuff like that. It's crazy how, kind of like China did, once when the whole Triple H and Stephanie McMahon storyline kind of popped off. They, kind of left Test and poor China kind of hung out to dry. They tried establishing singles career on their own. Sad, rest in peace. But I think 1,010% he should be in the Hall of Fame. Definitely, I agree, and I believe Umaga should be as well. So definitely, maybe they're going to be the next class, kind of heading toward 2027. I would say maybe like 3 years for people to finally to be like, oh, you know what? You can't really tell the story of what happened between the McMahon Helmsley era without talking about Test. Obviously, you had Test teaming up with Albert. That's when Trish Stratus made her debut. She used to manage them. And, they were a great tag team, pretty dominant. So, should be interesting to find out more about, with Test and stuff like that. So, next storyline, we have Rhea Ripley's going to kick off Monday Night Raw addressing the Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio situation. This is going to be huge. I feel like this promo is going to set something up for SummerSlam. Like I said, it's, with Money in the Bank in the rearview mirror, you kind of have to start building toward SummerSlam. So, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley needs, she has to get her rematch clause, and Adam Pearce is going to grant it. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I feel like Dominic Mysterio is going to ultimately choose Liv Morgan over Mommy because, like, with Liv Morgan kind of taunting Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan not really having the backbone, not really having the accolades or the confidence or the kind of, can't really back her stuff up right now because she hasn't really defended the title too much. She's just been flirting with Dominic Mysterio. And Dominic Mysterio has been falling for it. And now, like Damian Priest said, actions, actions, deserve consequences and stuff like that. And I'm looking at another comment from Parker Curry. Chris Benoit won't be in the Hall of Fame. Is that right or not? Oh man. Oh man, I wish. Dang. Dang. To be honest, based on what happened, it was oh god, it was so bad. God, it was so gruesome. It was horrific. It was terrible. He's not going to be the WWE for Hall of Fame. He's not. He's not going to be in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. He's been written off WWE. Is it right? Is it not right? On this platform I have right now, I probably can't really say. Definitely, wish to, run into each other at a bar and I'll be like, oh, bam, this and that and the other. Like I can tell you, but it's a great question. It's an absolutely phenomenal question. Definitely 1,010% apologize. I cannot answer that, that part right now. So, all right. And we have CJ Perry. She was formerly known as Alana. She used to manage her husband, Rusev. They recently got a divorce and now she's leaving AEW. What does that mean for her career? Like I was kind of mentioning with the women's division within the WWE, she'd be a pretty great asset to the WWE. She's a great in-ring performer. She's obviously gotten a hell of a lot better. Some fresh faces for WWE is, I feel like that's kind of the direction they ultimately kind of would have to lead into with CJ Perry. But who knows? Samoa Joe was officially written off of AEW last week on Dynamite, where Chris Jericho lifted it up with the forklift and drove him through just a bunch of walls and stuff like that. It looked really, really bad. He got carried off in a stretcher, went to the hospital, carried off in an ambulance and stuff like that. So, kind of crazy. But this was ultimately for Samoa Joe. He's set to film the second season of Peacock's Twisted Metal. Definitely love Samoa Joe in this. I think I've seen the trailer. It looks like a pretty dynamite trailer. Obviously from a video game. Once again, I was finally I was finally in the game. I was in the gaming community for like a year, and this was I think 10 years ago or something like that. I think, or no, it could be less than that. And man, I don't remember his name. He had a really weird name, but I can't remember the character's name. Don't kill me for that. So, Samoa Joe set to film the second season of Twisted Metal. Should be pretty awesome. Should be pretty cool. Make sure you check that off. So yeah. All right. So we have our last news headline. WWE might make a big addition to their TV product soon. There's been a lot of speculation about a referee cam. It was prominent within the WCW in the 1990s. This would ultimately bring up different perspective, a more, kind of intimate. Personally, I would have to kind of see it done for me to be like, oh, I don't really like it. I don't think it's that good. Recently, you've kind of seen the WWE go out in the crowd a little bit more. You've seen entrances where Jey Uso comes from the crowd, jumps into the ring, where Sami Zayn was featured outside of the ring, and then he came in through the crowd, was kind of, went through the concession stands and stuff like that, was firing everybody up. So and then you see them coming backstage, they walk through production and stuff like that. So WWE has changed their product to a certain extent. Obviously, I feel like, that's kind of crazy how they're still, they're really successful. WWE is probably getting the most success they have. They've gotten their whole entire wrestling promotional career. So, another chat I got. Do you like Chris Kanyon, WWE guy? Chris Kanyon was cool. I've seen him very limitedly within WCW. When he made it to WWF, even with all the WCW stars, I think they got kind of trashed. They got thrown under the bus and stuff like that. That's why you didn't see Sting jump into the WCW real quick, because he admitted on I think it was a podcast. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. He admitted that he kind of didn't want to walk into the buzzsaw that was WWE. He saw what was going on. He saw what Booker T ultimately had to do for him. Not, Booker T took a lot. That's why, in my opinion, Booker T, a two-time Hall of Famer with the Harlem Heat and also himself, he deserved, all the success. He deserved, all the accolades. He deserves all the praises, all the, showers of stars and flowers and stuff like that. Booker T, he endured it all. Chris Kanyon, when he fought in WCW, he was one of those rising stars. He was one of those rising stars within WCW. Once when WCW was bought out by Vince McMahon in 2001, it didn't really go well for a lot of WCW superstars. And Chris Kanyon was Chris Canyon was definitely one of those. All right, so guys, that was my show. Thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on, don't be afraid to, hit up the chat. Don't be afraid to be part of the show. 1,010% love the audience. I got another chat with it. Chris Canyon. You know what? I'm not too sure. I know it was a shock. I remember seeing it, and I think that, God, like, I want to, I don't want to say like 4 years ago, but obviously don't quote me on that. But I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Definitely kind of crazy how a lot of these wrestlers, they kind of pass away from, at a young age and stuff like that. That's, definitely crazy. So once again, like I said, thank you for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. That's it for me, guys. Hope to see you all next week. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow us on Twitter/X, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook for more content and updates. Like I always say, if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, we have other podcasts. We have the basketball podcast with Nelson. We have the college football podcast with my man Tommy. We had the Andrew Tate podcast. We have Women's Hoops and Heels, your one-stop shop for women's sports, MMA, the Olympics, the NWA. Make sure you check it out with her. We have Jeremy and TJ on sports. We have my man Garrison on hockey, also golf. And then we have my boy Sam with baseball, doing that baseball podcast. And football's right around the corner, guys. Get all your football knowledge from my boy Kenneth from the GSMC Football Podcast, and also my boy Manny from the GSMC Chip Shot Football Podcast. And then lastly, fantasy also. Fantasy's coming around the corner too, guys. When it comes and the NFL, you think of fantasy. I'm dabbling in fantasy a little bit. I have my own football pool. I have a ton of my friends. We kind of, have like this pot of money that we all fight for. And we, try to, predict game outcomes and over-unders and, just spreads and stuff like that. It's fun. It's great. It makes the game so much more entertaining. Not more entertaining than it already is. So we have football right around the corner. Watch Chris Shepard's GSMC Fantasy Sports Podcast. Get your fantasy sports from the GSMC. Be a part of this GSMC Sports bloodline. Once again, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys are excited to watch Emran's Soccer Podcast at 9:30. Hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Stay absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet. Damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work.